Welcome back to iWrench and We Learn. Today is going to be a short, easy, sweet video. You doing an oil change on our 2011 Honda CRV. It was like $100 to go to the store and have it done. It was $44 to buy the oil filter and the oil at local auto parts store. They always have a deal on it. Super easy to do. So yeah, we're going to get into it. I'll show you what we're doing and how to do it, and it will not take us very long at all. I've used these guys before, but we've got these metal ramps. Picked these up dirt cheap off a marketplace. They're like 6,500 pound rating. I did have to run a couple errands earlier today, so the underside of this might be a little toasty, unfortunately. But it's pretty simple. We're gonna get down under the car here. You can use regular jack to do the same job. Doesn't have to be a fun set of ramps. It's just convenient. And you'll see on this lovely engine oil right there with an arrow pointed right there. This bolt right here, I don't remember off the top of my head. I feel like that's a 17. I'm gonna be wrong about that, so I'll correct it in a minute when I get the tools. You also have your oil filter right there. You want to start by cracking this bolt, taking it out, and once the oil starts draining out, then I will go up top and I will take off the engine oil cap fill at the top in the block so there's airflow. And when it all seems to be nicely drained out, then I come back and I take out the filter. It'll have more oil in it as well, and it'll splash and make a mess. So you want to have some kind of paper towels or rags or something. So yeah, that's what we're gonna head to next. Also, one of the things I really like about having these wheel jacks or the ramps is I can use this big old tub. You want to take this out before you start dropping the oil, otherwise it'll overflow. I've seen that happen on some videos. Haven't done it to myself yet, but I probably will one day. Get that set up underneath that. Oh, by the way, when this is full, just take it to your local auto parts store and ask to dump it. And they've got a giant container where they take care of all these kinds of fluids. No charge. It's just a matter of hauling the thing there and getting it emptied out. So I was correct. This is a 17 millimeter bolt. It's pretty small, so you can pull that out, and then that's all there is to it. Get yourself a socket and get to town. Some of you eagle-eyed viewers might have already started chuckling at me, thinking I was going to put a socket up there with that oil filter right there. Instead, we're going to switch to the 17 millimeter wrench. One of my boys has acquired this fantastic tool. It's the ratcheting kind, so we get that cracked loose, and usually just get it loose and then take it out with your fingers the last couple of threads so you can kind of not drop the bolt. Took a good bit of effort to get it to crack loose, but now that it's loose, we're going to pull it out. So I will get it as loose as I can. You can see the oil starting to drip, and then it's kind of a pull it out and get out of the way real fast. Oh, I almost missed. You see that? Get in the back corner of my bucket. So, and I almost dropped the bolt in there even after I pulled it loose. Set this down here. That is that. That's been loosened. It's good to have nice gloves or have a lot of paper towels nearby because it is hot and you don't want that in your fingers. And that's all that's going to happen there. It is recommended to take a look at the bolt after it comes out. You want to check and make sure there's not bits of glittery stuff in there, because that's always a bad day when you get the oil drain plug out and it's got shiny metal stuff in there. This does not, so we're in good shape. I'm gonna go up top and open up the top. So as I was saying, I get it started from underneath and then I open up the top. Get this going just to relieve any vacuum pressure, I guess is what you'd call that, where, you know, the oil flowing out from the bottom. You want to make sure it's nice and loose and open. So take that off. Next thing I'll do is I'll check down to see what the flow looks like, and we are nearly done. So I'm gonna let that drip. Go find some wipes for my gloves so I can just hold on to things better, and we'll pull the oil filter next. All right, real quick, gotta show off this tool that I only learned about recently. My sons known about this for a long time. Both of them did, because they work in auto parts stores. See how the inside of this looks like the outside of the oil filter? It's because it is. However, these are not adjustable. These are just one size. Oil filters are all, I would say there were like 6 of these up on the shelf. So you just take your oil filter out, try it, find the right one for this. This would not fit on my Celica, sadly, because I did check to see if it would. It does not. You'll notice that the oil is nearly done draining, so that's good. But this is such a fascinating and fun tool. It just sits up there on the back side of your oil filter, and then you turn it. That's all you got to do. I have wrestled with some oil filters in my time, and just getting them started is the hardest thing in the world. And once you can get it started, super easy. You unscrew it, and it is going to leak oil on you, most likely. So be prepared for that. Oh, there it goes. I don't know any way to do this that doesn't create an insane mess. And you got to keep unscrewing it while oil runs down your arm. Super cool. Not really. And you'll notice that it's not draining out the bottom of the drain plug anymore, but it sure is running down my arm. Oil filter. Oh, baby. So much fun. Yeah. Well, there you go. Oil filter's out. That's all there is to it. Having that little wrench, fantastic. Any wrench will do to get that 17mm off, but the ratcheting wrenches are nice too. That though, I'm gonna need that one for the Celica, because I could not break that loose to save my life. Anyways, next, put in the drain plug, which I will go ahead and do that. I think there's supposed to be a crush washer on that first, so I'll go grab one of those, and then we'll put the drain plug back in, because if you don't, and you start filling your oil, well, that's just a waste of money. We'll be back in a second. If I can even turn this off now with one hand that's not covered in oil. Be right back. So I have seen a lot of folks call these crush washers. The packaging actually has it listed as an aluminum oil drain gasket. Same thing as a crush washer. It just goes on the end of your drain plug, and you put it back into the engine, or the engine block I should say, and then that way when you tighten this down with your ratchet, it helps eliminate the possibility, well, that's not true, you can still over torque these things and ruin the threading and mess up the head of the bolt, but this makes it a little easier, and it crushes the washer a little bit, as the name would indicate, so that you will get a better seal. That's all you do, put that on there, and then you grab your wrench or your socket, whatever you're using at this point, tighten it down. Just had some bug crawl right up my armpit on the other side. That was uncomfortable. Sorry about the twitch. So we'll tighten that down, then we'll go grab the oil filter and put that in next. And just for evidence sake, that's the old crush washer there. There are people that reuse these sometimes. It's not advised because it's designed to get squished when you tighten down that drain plug, which means that an old one isn't going to seal the same. So usually take them out, then go to any auto parts store, tell them what vehicle you have, they'll get you the right oil filter. So you don't necessarily have to know, but you can always look online. It's not very hard. It will come in the package with this nice seal on it, which keeps stuff out, obviously. But you don't want to have dirt and debris in your oil filter before you even put it on the car, because that's not a good thing. You'll have to peel the plastic off. And I have seen, can't even tell you where I saw it or if I was taught this by a relative or what, but the oil filter goes on the engine block. You saw when I took it out how much oil it had in it. So typically advised, especially when you have one that mounts straight up so you don't have to turn it sideways, is you're going to pour oil into this until you can see it just beneath the threads down there, because if you don't, then you're just filling to the amount of fill that is indicated for your motor. Like this one's supposed to be 4.5 liters, and this would be, quarts. So 4 quarts and another half of that, right around there, right? If I don't include the amount it takes to fill the oil filter first, then you run the risk of overfilling it and or underfilling it if you're doing it the other way around. Is it the end of the world? Not really. You might have a little bit lower engine oil if you don't fill that first and then you start pouring from the top, because it's not necessarily, you saw that this was higher up than the drain plug. So it's possible that when you just fill it straight through the block, oil won't get into that right away. Could give you some air pockets. I don't know. There's a bunch of different reasons why some people say yes, some people say it doesn't matter. I always fill it up. So I'll take that plastic off. Usually requires 2 hands because you got oil on the other hand. So I'm gonna pause the video, but that's what I'm doing next. Put oil into it, sorry, and then we'll screw that back in. All right, got some oil in there. Liberally allowed the oil to splash around on the top of that to kind of just soak all that up, get the gaskets all nice and lubricated. And we're going back under the car. And that's where your filter goes. Put it up there, get it started up. And you don't really have to tighten an oil filter very much. It's gonna heat, expand, contract, all those things when it gets warmed up. I usually put them on and just give them a good turn or 3 at a good full grip, kind of like that. Some ooga doogas, as some would say. And then we're good. I did already tighten this up all the way as well. So now we're done underneath the car, except for cleaning up tools. And my hand is covered in oil because I spilled a little, you know, that's what gloves are good for. Give it one more little ooga dooga, make sure it's on there snug. And we go up top and put to what appears to be 4.5 quarts of oil. I realized, just in case you're not sure, you do just pour the oil down, get a funnel. I've already poured, you can see a little over 2 quarts in there. At the beginning of this, you don't want to just pour directly into the funnel because it could flop over. It'll be coming out pretty fast. Well, that's all you do, put the funnel in there, start pouring until it feels like you're down to that level, whatever level you're looking for. I know this is going to take a bit more of this. Then you can just lift up your jug, see where we're at. Well, still got 1.5 quarts in there. And as Derek on Vice Grip Garage would say, it might be too much. Perfect. Actually, it looks like it's just a shade under that quart mark, but a little bit more into it. Rather have it fully lubricated than not lubricated enough. All right, that's got us down to right above 1/2 quart left. So it's good. I'll set that down. I will make sure this is done dripping. Set that down on there so any drips will drain back into the bucket. Put your cap back on it. Tighten this down. Just gotta be hand tight with these. They don't require anything special. And we're done. Looking around in here, it dripped a little bit when I first started pouring because that's a big jug. And it's just on this air filter sleeve, so that's not really gonna be an issue. Sometimes when you're doing an oil change, you might smell some fumes. It just burns off. There'll be drips that get on the engine block. Sometimes there'll be drips that get on the back side, hit the exhaust. It'll smell funky. It doesn't take long for that to clean up. And that is it. You're done. So don't forget, check for your tools. Still have my oil filter wrench down there. Clean that up, but everything's been tightened, refilled. Oil change is now done. That took me maybe 20 minutes because I stopped to record. I mean, it's a super short process. Anybody can do this, just a couple of tools. You don't have to have the fancy jug container, but you do need to have something to store the oil in. And remember, this vehicle takes 4.5 quarts. You need something big to store it in so you can take it back to a shop, auto shop, and have them dispose of it for you. So that's really it. Car jack, some tire blocks, just enough to be able to reach under there, and a pan to catch everything. Save yourself at least 50 bucks on every fill up, or oil change, doing this job yourself. I was so excited when I figured this out, and oil change prices were anywhere from 100 to 150 depending on what shop you went to, and that's just absurd. Save yourself some money. I wrench, we learn. Thanks for watching. Oh, I was just kidding, we weren't quite done. I almost did you the disservice of not showing you how to turn off that oil engine life maintenance, whatever you call it, knob. So you put your key in, turn it to the on position, get the flashy things, not starting the engine yet. Press your odometer switch here, and as you press it, it'll cycle through a few things. You want it to show you oil life. Then you press and hold, and it takes a minute. Not really a minute, 10 to 15 seconds, how long this is supposed to take, and it'll start flashing here in a second. Okay, then you're going to twist it, and as you twist the odometer reset knob, whatever, you'll see it hits all these different things, and when it gets back to oil life at the top, you're going to press and hold, or you're going to press that. It's going to show you what your current oil life percentage is at. So we got it right down to 5% because I travel a lot for work. So once it shows you that, you're going to press and hold this again. It should be 5-ish seconds the second time, and it'll reset this to 100%. Boom. And then you are done. You can press it again to get to your other, whatever you want to set it on. Start your engine again just for fun. The wrench stops flashing. I did do the switch a long time ago for LED lights for the headlights, so my daytime running lights is always on. That's what the DRL indicator is, unless I turn the headlights on. Otherwise, that just always flashes. But the wrench is gone, no longer getting the warning that I need to change my oil or that the life of the oil is getting very low, so that's good news. Got the inspection done today. Rocking and rolling with the little Honda 2011 CRV. All right, hope this was helpful to somebody out there. I wrench and we learn.